Live, I think. Hopefully. Let's check. You never know. All right, we should be live. And we're live. Cool. Anyway, so today we're going to introduce, announce, show, and highlight the assignment tool. So this has been a really long project. We've been working on this one for months. This is possibly one of the biggest projects we've had as far as a single feature goes. So it's very important. I want to make sure I go over this very clearly and, to explain what it is, how it works. It will probably change how most people interact with Musi as a whole. So it is a pretty drastic shift in how the platform actually functions. So, let's just go through. And if you do have any questions, if you are here live, I will open this on another device. Yep. So I can see the chat. So if you put chats into the YouTube comments, that's probably the easiest way for me to answer questions live. So basically, we're just going to jump into it, but the assignment tool is going to be available on all Pro and Institution accounts. So if you are on Standard, this might be the incentive to take that leap to the Pro. So let's jump into it, and I'll show you what we've got. So one of the coolest things about the assignment tool, like a lot of stuff on Musi, is you can use it inside of a lesson. You can use it outside of a lesson. Now, what the basic overview of what it is a set of instructions, and then you can attach documents, videos, audio, and whiteboards to that set of instructions, and then share them with students. You can share the same assignment with multiple different students. You can duplicate assignments and edit them slightly. You can, delete them, reshare them, do whatever you want. You can update them as you go if you'd like to. So it's really however you'd like to use the assignments is totally up to you, but I'll just sort of show a couple of ways that we've been using them as we've been testing things. So basically, you will see all your assignments down here in this little list in the corner. The buttons here on the end are to edit the assignments. You can do that. That's totally fine. But I just want to also show that the assignments can be found here on the side menu. So if you click this will take you to sort of like the main assignment page. This is where you can create, edit, delete, copy, things like that. So as you see, I've made a bunch of templates for myself already. But up at the top, you'll want to create a new assignment. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy some stuff so I'm not sitting here typing for 20 minutes. So the idea would be you give your assignment a name. So this might be, assignment 1, and maybe it's major scales or something. And these could be anything. I've had some assignments for students that are specific songs we were working on. Like, I was doing Crazy Train with one kid. So we created an assignment around Crazy Train with some videos and audio files and things to go along with it. Or it could be more generic, like something like major scales. Like I said, it's totally up to you, but it's just an example of how it could work. So I'm just going to copy this in here. So the nice thing about this is you can stylize your assignments as much as you'd like. So you can go simple plain text like this, or if you want to go crazy, you can add different text sizes, different colors. This is a great way to, make it engaging for students to look at, just a bit more enjoyable overall as an experience. And it's kind of fun. I liked going through and setting it all up. You can also create links. So maybe this is a link to an external resource. So you could just go in and you create the link, page 13, and just, it could be wherever you want, but let's just send those to YouTube. So now we have a linked item inside of our instructions. So you build these up however you'd like I said, go crazy. Then as you move across, you're going to start attaching assignment material to these instructions. So you can go in and find the PDF. So we said we were doing major scales. So let's do, I'm a guitar player. So let's just take this guitar major scale shape worksheet and hit add. So that's now part of this assignment. You can add as many as you'd like. So maybe we want, maybe we want piano major scales to go along with it. So we've got this worksheet. That's exactly what I needed. So we've added that. Now the student has this content attached to their assignment. You've got audio files. So I've got a backing track. Maybe I want them to practice their major scales over their minor scales, because why not? Chaos. You can check it out what file you're choosing. You can play the files here, so you can do playback. So you are sure that that's the right file. You click add, again, student has it. You go through this process for anything that's related to this assignment. So again, I guess more minor stuff and my sad face. So all the things that you've created in your lessons are applicable to, be attached to this assignment. You can go through, do that, add as much as you'd like, hit save, and then hit close. Now we have a new assignment up here. If we want to, we can duplicate it. So that would allow us to quickly replicate that, maybe change the assignments that are attached if we're working on this with a different student, or you could duplicate it and just share it to other kids. If you want to just share the same assignment out to multiple people, you don't need to duplicate though. When you share it to a different student, it will automatically just create its own copies for that person. So students' content doesn't overlap. Even in a group, if you're doing a group class, as I'll show you in a minute, you'll see that each student interacts with the assignment independently, even when they're in a group. So as with everything on Musi, you can share the assignments right from the teacher portal. You just click on the student, find the assignment you want to share, hit share. Now that student has the assignment. You can also get a quick overview of how much time the student has spent on the assignment and whether or not it's been marked as completed. And we'll get into that in a second about what that means. So that's basically the outside of the lesson for the teacher. Now, let's jump over to the student side real quick, and then we'll go into the lesson. So for the student, you're going to have, let's get this one a little refresh. You're going to have a page that's going to be in the corner here that is going to be your assignment tool. So similar to where it is for the teachers, it's going to take over your chord scale and arpeggio. That tool is still there. It's just moved behind. But so you can still access it if you need it. Now for a student, everything that you need for your assignments is right here. It's just this list of assignments. And these are only the ones that have been shared with you. So like everything, your students are not going to see all of the assignments. They're only going to see the ones you've given to them. So we can go in and we can open the assignment. And this is from the student's point of view. We see that there's some instructions. We see there's some material to go along with it. So, okay, first thing I'm going to do is open my music and say, okay, and I'm probably going to work on with the backing track to go along with that. So those are my two file content I want to work with for now. I can slide this close. I can zoom in. I can play the video. I can read the material. I can also, my timer is automatically running. So the practice timer, this is just, it starts right away when you get into class. You can pause it if you'd like, if you're going to take a break, but it will just run for the duration that you are here. The recorder will allow students to create their own recordings so that they can actually, input, assignment material as well. They can upload this. It goes directly to the assignment and is attached, and they'll show you in the lesson how you can review that. But as you see, you can open up to 2 files at a time. You can also sort of rearrange these to be however you'd like. So you can zoom in really close. You can open, 2 different things. It's as flexible as possible to allow students to work on the material that they need. And again, your assignment instructions are right here up at the top. Students' files, so everything that they've uploaded, are going to be attached right here. And they can attach notes to the assignment. So they can make a note, if it was difficult or if they had trouble with something or if they felt they did really well. This will also show up in the review page. Students also obviously have a metronome down here, so they can use this during the assignment. If they're recording, it will record, with the metronome. You will hear it if they're playing along. So they can use that if they'd like. So this is pretty much the overview for how a student would interact with the assignment. They can come in here, they can practice as much as they would like. They can, organize however they see fit. They can record their parts as they would like to. And they can also check off assignments as completed. When you check assignment off as completed, you can't record or add any more time to it. But you can still go in and review. But yeah, and you can quickly complete the assignment too if you'd like to add more time or more progress. So when the student's done, they can close the assignment. That practice time that they did will actually automatically go into the practice log. So they'll have practice time in the practice assignments from today. So that means that in the teacher account, if we go back, we can actually go to students practice and see that that student's practiced, and then you can reward them for doing so. So as a student, they don't need to worry about logging the time separately. It's going to log it all automatically. So as the teacher, you'll be aware that if they're practicing an assignment, that does still count as practice time. Now, in a lesson is where it gets more fun, because you can actually create your assignments as you're going, and you can interact with them with the students, and you can do this in a group class or one-on-one. So let me just swap my camera. Okay, I guess we're using the side camera today. Cool, 2 versions of me. Hello. So as a teacher in the assignment tool, I'm going to turn synchronization on. This is a new feature, by the way. Just figure I'll point this out while I'm here. Synchronize student sidebar. What that means is if I open something as a teacher, automatically opens it for the student. So that way, if you're using the whiteboard or the files, your students don't have to open them themselves anymore. You can just synchronize the sidebars and it will do it all automatically. So from here, what you can see is we've got all the assignments. As the teacher, we have all the assignments that we've created. As a student, we have only the assignments that have been shared to us. What we can do is go in and review assignments that the student has worked on or create new assignments. If you're going to create a new assignment, it's the exact same process as when you're outside of the lesson. So it works exactly the same way. Keep it simple. So it's nice and easy, consistent. You can share assignments if you'd like to. You just hit share and your student now has that. Or of course you can unshare, you can edit, all the same stuff you have access to. But one of the cool things is if you do decide to go into the assignment, you can actually see the content that you've attached, but you can see the student's content. You can see how many practice sessions, how much time they spent, any notes, and then any files that the student has attached. So if the student's recorded something, you can click this and you can actually watch the recording of the student, performing that piece, or if they're struggling with something, asking a question, whatever it might be. So you and your student can be, viewing this content together like you would any other file or recording on Musi. It's a great way to be able to see how your student is practicing as well, because you know the number of practice sessions and the total time. We could tell that this student is doing, 1 minute practice sessions, so they're probably not actually doing anything effective. Whereas if this was one practice session for 12 minutes, at least you could, assume they sat down for a solid 10 minutes to practice. But, it just gives you a little bit more insight into what the students are doing. You can close this and go back to your list. Again, you can create assignments, review them, everything as you would. Now, with the student side, it's very, very similar. Same, more or less identical. They see the assignment, they see the student content, they see the viewer. So when they open something, same thing, goes into the viewer. It's exactly the same setup. We tried to keep it consistent. So if your students are not sure about something, it's exactly the same for you as a teacher as it is for the student. And if you have that sync tool on, you can synchronize most of this. Now, like I said, you can edit and everything. And you can also, as a student, if you're doing any kind of group classes or anything like that, you can make assignments, share them during class, and have students open those new assignments. So if we go back to the teacher and we share rhythm and beats, so that's a new assignment for this student. We go back into here, see the list, we find rhythm and beats, and now we've got this new assignment that we could go through in class. We can work on this, and these assignments, like we said, but they could be new, they could be old, anything you want. Just gives you full access to the tool either in class or outside of a class. Now, real quick, I'm going to fire up a group lesson just to show you the difference. It's not a huge difference, but the way it works is, there's an important distinction. So with our group classes, if you are doing, Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I was invited to that group. When you're doing the assignments, you're going to interact with these sort of on an individual basis. So the student that you're working with is going to be the only person who is seeing that assignment, and you'll see what I mean. But the idea is that, like with our breakout audio, you can create really independent, private, experiences inside of your group class, while still, having all this other students not be interrupted or anything. So in a group class, you'll see at the top now you have a list of students. So in this scenario, it will be all the students who are signed in. So for now, it's just me and myself, but it would be the whole list of students that are there. So we'll click on this student, and now we see the content has changed to be related to that person. So if we go in here and open the assignment, only the other student whose name is at the top there, the person that we selected, only they can see the assignment because of the student content. The student content is tied to that student. So this is just closed between you and that other student. None of the other kids in the class will be able to see this screen as it is right now. And of course, you can go through the list as the teacher. Once you're done working with this student, you'd go through, you'd pick the next student, and then you'd see their content, and then you'd go and work with them, and they'd be able to see what they're working on. And if you're using this plus the breakout audio, then with breakout audio, just real quick explanation, basically you can create private audio channels inside of a group class so nobody else can hear what you and that student are talking about. So what you can do is you can create a private audio channel and open the assignment so that it's sort of like a private lesson inside of a group. It's a really great way of having flexibility to talk to students independently, but how other students to still work on their material without having to just sit there waiting. So it does work, in our groups. It works in all of our groups. So theoretically, if you did an assignment in a recital room for 50 people, they could all, you have a big list of 50 people that you could go through. But it does work with all the different group sizes. So yeah, I just wanted to go over, how the assignment tool works and, what it does, how we see it interacting, or how we see it changing, how people interact with the platform. I just wanted to highlight, some of the stuff we're working on. Maybe there's a new project in the works that we haven't shown anyone yet. So who knows? So let's get back to this. So I just want to say thank you for everyone who's been supporting Musi as well. We had our NAFME post the other day. The feedback from that was phenomenal. So we just want to say thank you again for everybody that's been supporting Musi over the last couple of years. If you have any questions, you know where to find us. The chat box on the website goes right to me. But this will be saved on the YouTube channel. I'll also try to put this in the Facebook group, the Musi Teachers. If you're not a part of that, feel free to join. It's a great place to connect with all the teachers on the platform. So just thank you. If you have questions, please let us know.